Ladies and gentlemen, COP family, let me hear it for COP. Now, the biggest response we've had so far is for the music we had. And I would say give the gentleman another round of applause. It has introduced into our meeting a softness that COP is known for. Leader of the Congress of the People, Mr. Prakash Ramada, my leader. Member of Parliament for San Fernando, my Member of Parliament. Mr. Karim, Minister from the United National Congress, thank you for visiting us today. And the rest of the head table, and you, the COP people. Let me first say, in addition to what Pat Mativier said to me tonight, the most important thing she did not say is that I am from San Fernando. What she did not say, from 1960, once I started Naparima College, I've been in San Fernando every single day, driving in or driving out, except when I was out of the country training. I am a true San Fernandian, and I've been in this town and this city since 1960, so I can talk about it. Our Member of Parliament has made a sterling contribution to San Fernando, and she has mentioned some of them. But what I wanted to let you know is not what we have done in 5 years, but what the PNM has not done in 40 years. All the things that we have done in San Fernando and the things that are being planned are things the PNM did not do for 40 years sitting in San Fernando. Can they point at anything? They will tell you that they put the building up in the car park. Do you know that when they put the building up next to the hospital, they removed all the car parks from San Fernando? Business in High Street died. You could not shop in High Street because there was no place to park. And thank God, the People's Partnership found a use for that building and is now making it a medical school and a first-class hospital. So at least if we give up the car park, we have something to show for it. But ladies and gentlemen, while I'm on car parks, and I don't think I have shared this with many people, I have a vision for a car park in San Fernando. This is before I get into my speech, my San Fernandan. You know, we need car parks for the hospital. Have you ever tried to go to the hospital and a clinic in the morning or visiting in the afternoon? Have you ever tried to find a park to get a taxi to the water taxi to Port of Spain? Or find a park to get a bus to go to Port of Spain? Or find a park to go on High Street? Those of us who are living in San Fernando and environments know how difficult it is to find a car park in San Fernando. I am suggesting to my leaders, to my ministers, to my MP, that where you have is it Norway's building? Norway? By the wharf. By the wharf. I think it's the Norway building. Next to the entrance, the back entrance to the hospital, if you put a very high-rise car park, it can serve the wharf, it can serve the taxi, it can serve the hospital, and it can serve the high street. So I hope someone will take me on. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to tell you that when I turned on the TV yesterday afternoon, I rushed from my office to go and see what is happening, how they're going to handle this thing they're talking about yesterday in the Parliament. And I see the PNM walk out. And I say to myself, who duck and run now? Who duck and run now? They can't take the jamming. When it's time to answer, they duck and run. They're gone. Is that the kind of opposition you want in this country? That's not the kind of opposition you want in this country. But ladies and gentlemen, I came here to talk to you about code of conduct on a platform. And we are saying in the Congress of the People, we must not be vulgar. We are saying in the Congress of the People, we must not be vile. We are saying in the Congress of the People, we must not cuss anybody. We must say in the Congress of the People, when they come here, we must build the people's character, not break people's character. The Congress of the People is adamant, and those who have presented tonight, information galore. After the Minister of Tertiary Education spoke, I wish there was a young man again. There are so many opportunities for training, so many opportunities for advancement. In my days, you didn't have those things. The PNM was in power. There was very little to choose from. The PNM was in power. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to take some more time on San Fernando. And we've got people who want to come and unseat my member of parliament. And his name was called earlier. And we have people who want to win San Fernando East. And we have people who want to contest Pointe-a-Pierre. And I look at all these three people hugging up each other in the newspaper, watching each other lovingly, and smiling. And I look at all of them. They're all with the Savile Row suits, and the silk tie, and the French perfume. And they're walking up and down, and they go into the line, but they can't take the smell in the line, so they have their handkerchief on their nose. That is the kind of people we have going for these three. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, San Fernando West will remain COP. Pointe-a-Pierre will remain in the partnership. San Fernando East. You know, years ago, when the EBC made boundary changes, and it was to the benefit of the PNM, nobody said anything. There's a change in San Fernando East. A PNM member jumped up and almost said that the EBC is in cahoots with the government and that the government influenced. But that is far from the truth. With that change, we take in San Fernando East as well. How many of you here from Point Fortin? I see a whole range of people from Point Fortin. How many from Cedrus? How many from St. Augustine? How many from San Fernando? Ladies and gentlemen, you realize that here in San Fernando, we are represented by people from all over the country. The COP is not only about San Fernando, not only about St. Augustine, but Point Fortin, Labrie. Liberation Day is coming. On election day, we will liberate you from the PNM. On election day, we'll liberate Point Fortin. What have they done for you? What have they done for Point Fortin? Nothing. They're talking about the hospital for 30 years now. They have I must say, my leader just told me, Point Fortin have a lot of patients, but no hospital. I didn't say that. So, you know, we come here and we talk about what the PNM has done, which is very little, in 40 years, and what the People's Partnership has done in 5 years. And when I listen to my member of parliament for San Fernando, and I listen to the Minister of Tertiary Education, how can you compare it? How can you compare it? It cannot be compared. Impossible. With that kind of record, there is no question. We are not only getting 5 more years, we are getting 10 more years, and then we're going for more than that. Because if the PNM were, by some strike of the imagination, win the next election, we are going backwards. They're stopping your highway in Point Fortin. They will tell you again that the hospital in Point Fortin, they don't have the money. They will tell Arima we don't have the money for the hospital. But let me tell you, this People's Partnership government is going to complete the highway, is going to complete the hospital, because only people in the south can understand just 12 miles or so from Point to San Fernando can take you 2 hours. They don't understand the suffering that some people have. And this is something that we need to make people understand, that all over the country, people are people in South, people are people in North, people are people in East, people are people in West, and the people are people in Tobago as well. Everybody must be served. In Valencia in the East, they have a new highway. Diego Martin in the West, they have a new highway. Central have Children's Hospital. Central has Aquatic Center. Point Fortin getting their hospital and their highway. Pinal getting their mini hospital and some major sports complex. Ladies and gentlemen, this government is delivering every single place. Every single place. Let me just go a little bit and speak about Mr. Manning. He's a friend of mine. We went to university together, and we lived in the same hall of residence. And so did Rowley. And I can tell you, Manning, Patrick, he was known Patrick as then, they called him Patrick, always laughing, always in a good mood. Everybody's friendly with him. In every little line, in every card game, everybody knew him. Let me simply say, the other person was not the same. And we have this Mr. Rowley in the last government literally attacked his leader and brought down the PNM government. And now he wants to lead the PNM government and kicking out Manning. Poor Manning. He worked for the PNM for almost 40 years. And then he was kicked out of Balege House because he lost an election. And he got a stroke as a result. And you remember who paid most of his bills when he came out. Understand who paid most of his bills. And then when it comes to San Fernando East, they are telling him, you cannot go up. They want somebody else. You go to Arima, Penny cannot go up. You go to Laventille, this one can't go up. And we are saying, Mr. Rowley, who is going to fight for the PNM? All the stalwarts in the PNM, the people who have gained some respect, you're firing them. And you're keeping people like, yeah, all right, I wouldn't call names. But he's short like this, and he talk a lot. That's the kind of guy he's keeping close to him. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say to you that when the next election comes, and it's going to come very soon, I can tell you that a PNM is going to be wiped off outside the corridor. And COP is going to get more seats. And the UNC is going to get more seats. And the PNM is going to get less seats. We are not taking the UNC seats. The UNC is not taking our seats, but both of us are going to eat up the PNM in the next election.
Come to wine and jump on a shot to get it more than you. Cause when I'm fixing off course, I just do it like a
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to leave with you the fact that the Congress of the People gave a commitment to this country in 2010. And we are keeping that commitment to be united with the PP government. Thank you very much.